That's not true. I fucking 100% disagree with that. Today, more training on the board, getting everyone up to scratch, getting everyone up to a certain level, a recommended level that we have. You know, no one will be able to deploy something within the business unless they've reached a certain standard that, you know, they get the tick of approval, you know, the Brett Campbell tick of approval. I'm not too lenient on that, you know, I'm pretty strict. So I guess I look at it going, would I be happy with that done on mine? They're really trying to push these Canva messages. So these could be cool things that we look into and create and you know, spend some time in and make it work, you know, like even that's fucking brand new. Facebook, wow. So you can see how you got to stay on the cutting edge, and you know, you got to be always checking and looking in and go, okay, what is that? There'll be training around that, you know, even learn more. So go in and spend some time looking and going, oh, how could this work for a client? Where could this best be executed? Because there's no shortage of ways, and this is why people get overwhelmed, because it's like, well, just have a single image so I don't get confused with the carousel of fucking video slideshow. You know, there's the new collection. I mean, that looks pretty ninja. Ego metrics are the metrics that make you look and feel good on the outside, but it's like what's happening behind in the back end of the engine. You know, like you can have 1 million fans, but if you're not getting any leads or you're not generating any customers from it, then, you know, what's the point of having it? Other than just look at me. The number one metric you really need to look at is how much money's in the bank. That's ultimately, you know, go to that and then reverse engineer what you need to know and before that. It's an interesting topic, you know, ego metrics. There's a lot of people out there who say, yeah, I'm earning $1 million a year, I'm earning $5 million a year, but their net profit is like 40 grand a year or something. It's like, you know. So when you hear someone say, you know, they're running a $100 million company, you got to look at the expenses attached to that. It's all about the net profits, the net gain. It's ultimately what it is. How much money you got in the bank, how much money you can invest into other things, spend on things, you know, use to help others. That's ultimately what it comes down to. There is a level of importance though on having solid metrics. You know, like because I've got solid metrics in heaps of areas, it's easy to position the credibility. I've generated hundreds of thousands of leads. Like to someone who is struggling to generate a lead, they're like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, you know, there is an element of credibility and positioning attached to metrics, which, you know, if you've got good metrics, why would you not use it? You know, I mean, they're there to be used. But just as long as you're using them for good, you know, that's really all it comes down to.
What metrics should you pay attention to? Which one shouldn't?
Well, it depends. You've got to always go, what's your end goal? If you come to us and go, I want 100,000 fans, well, our goal is to get 100,000 fans. But, and I said this yesterday to a very, very well-established company. I said, one thing we won't do, because we're not desperate for clients, right? Like a lot of agencies out there will just take anyone who will let them manage their stuff. The reality is you've got to make sure that you are delivering an effective strategy for the right reason. So I said to the CEO yesterday, I said, well, one thing, because in his mind, he just wants more fans on his fan page and he wants to see more likes and comments. That's his goal. I said, cool, great goal, but what's the goal after that? Because the standard person would say, cool, I can get you likes, or if they can, let's go and do that. But it's like you're working on a strategy that is appealing to this person, but it's not really appealing to the overall vision of the company. And let me digress. I asked him, I said, well, okay, fans, all of that, that's great. It's all happening. Let's just say that's all working. What's next? Oh, well, we want this. I said, well, let's target, you want this, and then work out that strategy around it. You know, so it's just making sure you're going after the right thing. Because there's nothing wrong with metrics. I love metrics. Like we tried 100 Facebook Lives in a day. That was just an ego metric. Like, why the fuck would I choose 100? I don't know, because 100's a round number. We had episode 100. There's nothing wrong with metrics if they're used in the right way. Strategies, tactics, you can't have one without the other. That's the double-edged sword. It's the positive, the negative, the left, the right, the up, the down, the yes, the no. You got to have it. Well, you can't have one without the other, right? Most people focus on the tactic and they don't have the strategy. So you got to look at it like the map and the car, right? Brett, ding, 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 coming off. If I say go go to place Z, or I want you to end up here, and you don't have the map and I'll just give you a car, you're just gonna fucking drive around in circles. But if I give you the map and you don't have a car, you're gonna be like, oh, I can see it, it's so far away, I don't know how to get there. So you gotta get the right mix of strategy and tactics and blend them together. You can't neglect one, and you can't put all your eggs in one of the baskets. That's why we're so good at what we're doing here, because we have the tactics, the knowledge base of how to, but why we stand apart from all other agencies is because we have a strategy as well. We have the strategy to be able to look at something for what it is and then be able to go, what's missing? What could be added here to make it better? You know, I've said this probably 1,000 times. Anyone can join the dots, right? You know the game where you're joining the dots as a kid? What I get to be able to see are the dots that aren't there, so I can join those dots, because they're the things that are missing. Do you find yourself ever telling stories that I've said?
Yeah, it's funny.
Right,
Cool.
That's what I mean. I've become a business coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, look, this is what I believe you should be doing. You know, I think about it, I go, fuck, imagine if I got to follow someone around, that, like, you'd be immersed in it. And there's that whole concept, though, again, of the tactic and the strategy. You could know how to do a Facebook ad, but then it's like, well, where are you deploying it? Is it the right ad to deploy in front of the right person, product, service? Who are you going to put it in front of, and why?
Yeah.
What happens before the ad? What happens after the ad? So there's so many different variables that make up a solid campaign, a results-driven return on investment campaign. Because the problem is once you learn and once you know that, there'll be a desire to want to learn it more, or there'll want to be a desire to go, oh, what's that next thing? And what it can do is, this is for people in general, is, you know, you can be a jack of all trades or a master of none. And that's the strategy loop that majority of people don't have, because it's not easy. I've got a very problem-solving mind. Like as a kid, they created a problem-solving class at primary school for me, and there was only me and another kid in it. For an hour, we would sit down and we'd be given problems and I'd just have to solve them. I fucking loved it. I just love seeing someone go, there's got to be a solution for that. I've definitely worked that muscle in regards to learning strategy. I don't think it's something you can teach it, but again, it's you can't teach the intuitive side of it. You can teach the tactic side of strategy, right? You can go, if this happens, then do B. If that happens, then do C. Default to this if that happens. With an overarching strategy for a lot of things, you can follow a basic formula, but intuition has to come in, your problem-solving mind, by being able to see the problem before it's even there. You know, you can be a good problem solver, but can you be a good problem solver when the problem isn't even there yet? You got to be a problem finder. So find the problem and solve it before it's even happened. That's fucking when you become a ninja.
Like you were saying before with the car and the map, even if you have both of those things, why wouldn't you just hire a driver?
Because then, yeah, but you could be a shit driver. That's the other thing.
That's what I mean. Hire a different, that's the whole point of hiring an expert.
What if you can't afford the driver? You catch an Uber.
Yeah.
But then you're relying, and that's what businesses are doing. They're catching Ubers. They're relying on people to get them from A to Z when they don't have a fucking clue. I'll tell you what, I was in Melbourne and I was running a gig down there, and I was literally staying 5 minutes away from, I was in the hotel, the venue was 5 minutes away from the hotel. But I had to cross a big, train station, all that, so I was like, I'll just get the taxi, because there was no paths and stuff. So I was like, I'll just get a taxi, it'll be 5 minutes, it'll be like $10. I'm in the car, and one thing I always do, and this is a recommendation for everyone, whenever you're catching a taxi or an Uber, just have a look at the best route. Use your GPS and go, okay, that would be the best route. Next minute I'm in the taxi and we're driving off and we're driving down a street, and I'm like, yeah, that's not what this map's telling me, all right? So I was like, oh, should I just listen to the taxi driver, because he should know what he's doing, because he's a driver, he's been doing this forever. And got a couple of minutes down, I was like, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm taking you. I said, mate, the map fucking said to go this way. You've taken me the long way. We're heading into the city to come back around. And basically what happened was he realized that the route was only gonna be a $10 route. And I got him, didn't physically make him, but I verbally used language to persuade him to come clean. And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I just don't like these short routes. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, so you wanted to try and get me on, because by the time we got there, it was about $27. And I was like, I got there, and I said to him, okay, so what are we doing here? And he goes, oh, we'll make it only $16 for you. I said, how about we make it $0 and I won't report you? He goes, oh, okay, thanks, I hopped out. But the point of that was, I knew where I should go. Right, I had the map, I just didn't execute on the map, but I still had an idea. And this is the thing, businesses need to start paying attention to what's happening in the market. And if you're not an expert, you need to befriend someone, or you need to start finding someone or employ someone to be an expert. The amount of businesses that I see now being involved in the whole digital world, the CMG world, who employ someone to do their social media, and they're just like a chapter ahead. You know, I talked about that yesterday, a chapter ahead. It's like the blind leading the blind. It's not gonna work. Because you're hopping in the car and you're hoping they're gonna get you to the right place. They may get you to the end destination, but it might cost you 10 times as much. It's like if you're gonna get in an Uber, get an Uber Lux. Get the best. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. Thank you for watching today's vlog. If you would like to tune into another episode, hit the video on your left, and don't forget to subscribe by hitting the link on the right.